Hello, everyone. The demonstrations in Nigeria have entered the seventh day. It's unfortunate that yesterday we were not able to report on what happened on the sixth day, but nevertheless, we have brought you the updates for today. So we have entered the seventh day, as we said. We updated you recently about all that happened from the first day. The demonstrations are supposed to be for 10 days, right? The protesters have said that all the 10 days, they will demonstrate until the government responds to their need. Now, what we are seeing that during the first, the second, and third day, the demonstrations were losing momentum. But when the president came out to give his speech on the fourth day, this angered the protesters because the protesters felt that their interests were not addressed by President Tinubu when he came to give the speech uh, in Nigeria, to which, of course, he thought that he was addressing the interests of the protesters in Nigeria. And of course, the president came out with a lot of threats and different tactics. The government itself used a lot of tactics, in order to calm down the protesters, of course, to intimidate the protesters. And of course, also they used divisive tactics. Greetings, Patricia Cox, and thank you for being part of this update that we are bringing. We are talking about the protests in Nigeria and what happened today. The protests, of course, continued, as we said, and the president has continued, of course, to intimidate the people and to use the various tactics. The police is out on the streets. What happened in Kano today? It even became violent. There was also elevated protests in, in Port Harcourt in Nigeria. So we will show you some of what happened in the particular places. For example, in Port Harcourt, what happened there. So let me just share this so that you can see the protests as they happened in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, on the seventh day of the protests. Let me share this so that all of us can be able to see it. The committing. All right. So the protesters have continued on to say that Tinubu, of course, must go. And anyone who has been speaking against, of course, the protests, that he must go or he must resign. That particular person must resign.
Sorry, let me see. Hey, Africa.
So basically, that is what happened in Port Harcourt. That is where these protests happened. Let me show you also, and shout out to Symphony, the owner of that YouTube channel. who allowed us to stream that. And let me show you what happened in Kano State. In Kano, it was quite violent. That the protesters they resorted to even looting. They resorted to looting the library, the state library in Kano, the federal government's library in Kano, and they took some of of the items like chairs and what was inside. That is what was happening in Kano in the northern part of the country. Other parts of the country, the demonstrations, of course, have come down a little bit. In other parts of the country, the protesters have calmed down a little bit.
The National Library of Nigeria, Kano branch, and looted everything there. Everything was looted except the books. Yes, except the books. Because what will a hungry man do with the book? Since the politicians have kept them hungry and kept them uneducated, this is no time for them to loot book. This is time for them to loot what they can sell and convert same to go and buy a derica of Gary. I am not supporting the riot, but it is what the politicians in the north have sown. That is what they are reaping. They have always been used during political seasons, elections, to rig elections, to cause mayhem, to even have underage voter.
Yeah, so that is what happened in the northern parts of the country. And of course, due to this pressure that is happening and the problems that are happening within Nigeria, including, of course, the issues of Dangote oil refinery, of course, we will come and do an update on the Dangote oil refinery. But the CEO, the chief executive officer of the Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation, also was called in. And of course, we speak on this, the reason being because the protesters also have spoken about the issue of the oil refineries, because they have said that if the oil refineries in Nigeria are working, then the prices of fuel will come down. All right, the prices of fuel will come down, but because the oil refineries in Nigeria are not working and they are being sabotaged by some elements within the government, then the prices of fuel are extremely high. So the chief executive officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited appeared before the House of Representatives ad hoc committee today, and he had to answer some questions of why there's no crude oil for Dangote. And of course, in all this, he claimed that they are not sabotaging anyone. They are not sabotaging Dangote. The reason why the crude oil is not coming, of course, he put it on the people. He also put it on the people, just like the imperialists in the West, how they do. He put it on the people, that it is the people who are stealing the oil. That is why the sabotage from the stealing of crude oil by the people, that is why there's no crude oil. That's why the production is low. So this was his claim. And of course, he said that he is following the law. His company, the company he's leading, which is, of course, a Nigerian company, is a public company. Nigerian National Petroleum Company is a Nigerian company in itself. It belongs to all Nigerians. Now, of course, he claimed that they follow the law, and that is why, if they are selling the crude oil, they give it to a willing buyer, willing seller, and of course, this was some sort of implication of himself. So this was some of the updates that happened from his side, in regards, of course, to the protest, which can be addressed or in line with the protests themselves. And we saw also President Tinubu coming out to appoint some sort of committee to address issues, of the youth. At least that is what he claims, that is going to address the issues of the youth, the problems of the youth that are affecting the youth in the country. And so he appointed someone to lead, appointed and mandated a secretary for the newly created FCT Youth Development Outfit. What this means actually is, what this means is that he's trying to claim that they created this outfit, within the Federal Capital Territory, within Nigeria. So they created a youth outfit which will be be able to attend to the interests of the youth. And of course, everyone here can plainly see that this is just an attempt to calm down the people who are protesting, because he claims that this established youth development secretariat, of the federal government is going to be used to create jobs. That is what he claimed. He explained that the youth development secretariat would serve as a robust, that is what he called it, a robust administrative structure to coordinate youth-related matters, in the government. The statement said that the secretariat would serve as a valuable platform for the implementation of youth policy programs, youth policies and programs. So this is what the president, he claimed. But of course, we have seen, his thinking in his original address, which he put out after the protesters demanded, that he should come out and speak on their grievances. We saw that the grievances, of course, themselves were not, addressed. He said also that the secretariat, the youth secretariat, which has been created, will also facilitate the training, for skill acquisition, entrepreneurship, and leadership. That is what, of course, they claimed that is going to do. Of course, which is questionable, which is questionable, looking at the original speech which he gave in the country. With that being said, I want to thank you, everyone. If you have been part of the platform, we've been part of the update. Continue to like and share what we are bringing on this platform as we continue to grow. I want to thank you, everyone, and peace and blessings to you. This is Connect Africa, and my name is Kwame Gonza. See you next time.